New York City is known for having crazy amenities in their apartment buildings. And it makes sense, apartments are so crazy expensive here. People need more than just this white box in the sky. They need to feel like they're getting their money's worth. So CNBC actually released an article talking about the most common amenity that developers are putting in new New York City buildings. So what are some of these amenities that you typically see in these buildings? You typically see gyms, spas, children's playrooms, rooftops and observation decks, really things like that. But surprisingly, none of these are the most common new amenity that developers are putting in. All of those are kind of old news at this point. Developers have been starting to put in co-working spaces into new New York City buildings. Now I have to say, as a New Yorker myself, this is a huge perk and I wish my building had a co-working space in it. If you're not familiar with the price of co-working spaces in New York City, they are very, very pricey. The average co-working hot desk membership starts at about $300 in New York City. And that's all of New York City as a whole, not just Manhattan. And honestly, as somebody who has been a member of a co-working space before and has looked at the prices of many different ones, I think that $300 is definitely on the low end, but that is what the article claims. Now, I myself have seen a lot of hot desk memberships starting probably around $500 at least. Now, what is hot desk membership? Hot desk just means that you don't have an actual office or an assigned desk in the co-working space. You're literally just allowed to use the space and use any available space available on that day or time that you're there. So you don't even really feel like you have your own space, and that's how much you're paying just to get access to the space. So imagine if you live in a New York City building and you can just save that extra cost that you're spending every single month for that co-working space. Now, if we're talking about private offices at co-working membership, those are just starting at $1,000. And I'm talking about starting. I've paid over $1,000 myself for a private office in New York City. And I'm not talking about a big private office. I'm talking about a small private office that fits like 2 people. It's very, very pricey. And I do think it's great that these developers are offering such a useful amenity. Now, as a real estate agent, I do hear from my clients sometimes who are looking at these nice buildings with these amenities that sometimes the amenities are really, really nice, but they don't feel like they're actually gonna get good use out of the amenities. Like they're more of like a nice to have or nice to show off when your friends or family come visit you and things like that. But this, I have to say, is a very, very useful amenity for a lot of people. People want that separation from their apartment and work because with so many people working from home all the time, or at least a few days a week, they don't want to be in their small, tiny apartment all the time on their couch trying to get their work done all day. It's just not a good lifestyle, especially since apartments are so small in New York City. And also, a lot of people don't want to go far for their office either. If a lot of these residents become a member at a co-working space, they're also going to have to travel. Even if it's just a few blocks down the street, why not just go upstairs to your own amenity space? So I do definitely think that this is a great perk to have in your apartment building. Now, I would love to know from you guys, would you use a co-working space in your building? And do you think that this amenity is worth it? As always, I just love hearing from you guys.